Okay, let's make some chocolate chip cookies. These are the best chocolate chip cookies I've ever made. So let's get to it. We're going to put 2 sticks of butter in your mixing bowl, in your bowl, whatever you're using. I am using it in a pot. Don't cover me, whatever. If it works, it works. So 2 sticks of butter. I am making a double batch. So this recipe will be cut in half for just a single batch. A single batch does make about 18 cookies. And then, so 2 sticks of butter, which is about 1 cup of butter. You can be using margarine or butter, whatever works for you. And I'm just breaking it up some because it should be softened butter. And I forgot to take it out, so it's not all that soft. So I'm just breaking it up a little bit. Just break it. And I'm also making these with my sister because my boo boo and I've made these before. And they never turn out the same. A little foreshadow, they still didn't turn out the same. We don't know what's happening. So now that the butter is in there, we are going to go to the next step and get our white sugar is next after you got that butter ready and all in the bowl. We need a half a cup of white sugar. So we're just gonna pour it in, pour it in, pour it in. If there's bumps or clumps, take it out with your fingers. Just now put the white sugar in the butter. This is going to be a lot of sugar in here, but that's okay. Next is brown sugar. And maybe a little bit in between each step because I am giving my sister directions as we're going to see what the heck we were doing wrong and why they weren't coming out the same. But we're going to get our brown sugar, and we need a cup and a half brown sugar. You don't have to really pack it in, just put it in your measuring cup and off you go. A cup and a half of brown sugar in with the butter, the softened butter, and the white sugar. And now we're going to get the brown sugar in it as well. 1 cup so far in the pot. Now we just need another half a cup of brown sugar to equal 1.5 cups of brown sugar. Half a cup. Now that is a total of a half a cup of brown sugar, 2 sticks of butter, and a half a cup of regular white granulated sugar. Now what I do is I just mix the sugars together just to kind of make sure it's dispersed evenly. You don't have to do it if you have a stand mixer, but because I'm doing this by hand, I prefer to do this step. Spear fingers! Once you have the butter or margarine, white sugar, brown sugar, you need to grab 2 eggs. Now remember, this is a double batch. This is not a single batch, so it seems like a lot more. Now we're going to go 1 egg, plop it in there. Choop, choop. Now we're going to go 2 eggs, plop it in there, and it's going to droop down like it's sad to be in there. And then the next, after the 2 eggs, we need 2 teaspoons of vanilla. I just use any vanilla. Right here I'm using the Great Value vanilla, or you can use pure vanilla. It really doesn't matter, I think anyways. Now once the vanilla is in there, now you want to mix the eggs. I kind of break them up, and then you want to start mixing your butter, your white sugar, your brown sugar, your eggs, and your vanilla all together. You want to get this all creamed together. Now I am doing it by hand, so it doesn't come out perfect like if I was using a stand mixer, but I don't have one of those. So I just mix, mix, mix it all, mix it all, mix it all together. And if you are doing this by hand, it could take a couple minutes. Even with the mixer, I think it would take a couple minutes because you want to make sure it's all nice and combined and incorporated and nice and smooth. And there isn't any lumps and chunks. In mine there is, but I don't think that made much of a difference. Mix, mix, mix. Mix, mix, mix. It does take a minute when you're doing it by hand, especially. And at this point, we're talking away, me and my sister, because we want to see if she follows directions to a T, if my cookies and her cookies will turn out, because when me and my boo boo do it, they do not. Mine turn out good. I mean, his turn out good too, but they do not look the same. His go really flat, and mine do not. So we're trying to figure that out. Now at this point I am done mixing because it didn't get mixed anymore. There are still chunks, but that's okay. It will just have to do. Now your next steps is going to be all the dry ingredients. then I guess I'm deciding to try to get out some of those chunks of butter still, even though it doesn't work. So I'm just gonna leave it again. Now we're gonna go in with flour, and for a double batch, it is 3 cups. So we're not even gonna sift it. We're just gonna do it right over the pot, and we're gonna add. Here comes a cup of flour. One. Gotta give my little jar a shake because the flour seems to want to just stick to the bottom. 2 cups of flour, and I'm using white all-purpose flour. And 3 cups of flour. Oh, and you can see I made a mess right outside, and there's flour all on the side, and I just push it away. Now, next, you want to get your salt. And it's going to be a half a teaspoon of salt. Salt. Aren't those containers cute? They're so cute. I got myself some, and I also got my boo-boo some, and ooh, they are so cute. So that was a half a teaspoon of salt. Now you need to grab baking powder and baking soda, and you need 1 teaspoon of baking powder and 1 teaspoon of baking soda. And we're just gonna put it in like so. That was the baking powder. Now we're just gonna get a teaspoon of baking soda. I have no clue what I'm doing either. I think I might have been trying to show the camera, but who knows. And then once you got that all in the same, I just put it all on top of the quote unquote wet ingredients. I just give the dry ingredients just a little bit of a mix on top again, like I did with the sugars, just to kind of have it incorporate better. And then once I do that, then you just mix all the dry ingredients and all the butter and sugar mixture and mix that all together until it's all combined and all nice and smooth. I'm doing it by hand and it does take a while. And I find you don't want to over mix it, just to mix until it's all just combined. No over mixing. And I think at this point, hers were already all mixed together. So I was telling her, to put chocolate chips in. And at this point, she had to confirm just a little bit of chocolate chips because the boo boo of mine, he does not like a lot of chocolate chips. He likes, he prefers the dough. And then at this point, I was just scraping everything off because I was going to start going in with my hands just to make it go by a little quicker and to make sure it all gets incorporated and combined. It will appear to be a little bit sticky, but it works itself out after once everything is all combined. And don't worry, my hands are nice and clean and washed. I did wash them. And we're just going to get in there and mix, 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 mix. This is one of the best recipes I think I've ever made. At this point, we were just talking away because she was telling me it didn't look like a lot of dough, and I was just saying, "Yeah, don't you worry. Don't you worry. It makes a good amount of cookies because one batch makes about 18." And I think at the end of it, I personally got about, let's see, 38 cookies, so almost 40 cookies. So that's not that bad. Oh, and Terry, I start washing my hands again because who wants that gunk all over? And then from there, we want to add our chocolate chips. Now you can use any chocolate chips, milk chocolate chips, semi-sweet chocolate chips, white chocolate chips, butterscotch, any kind of chocolate chip you can put in here, and it's going to be delicious. But right now I'm just using milk chocolate chips because I prefer that over semi-sweet chocolate chips, and to be honest, I probably used about um, a full bag of chocolate chips. The recipe does call for a cup per batch. So this one would be 2 cups of semi-sweet chocolate chips. But who goes by that? Just eyeball. Put as much chocolate chips or as little as chocolate chips as you want. We've also made these with white chocolate chips and butterscotch chocolate chips, and it is just so good. And I also found out that my boo boo put cereal, and they turned out so good, he said. So that's another option. This dough, this cookie base, I find is very versatile. So experiment with it. But there's the dough, and yeah. So I personally used a tablespoon, and I just um, like overfilled the teaspoon or tablespoon, sorry, for about 1.5 tablespoons per cookie each size, but it can go up to 2 tablespoons. Just depends how big you want your cookies. Um, but the 38 cookies was about a tablespoon and a half per cookie with the dough. So that is what I used. And if you are making them right away, you want to preheat your oven to 350 degrees. If not, wait. And then when you're ready for them, preheat it to 350 degrees. And then they cook for about 10 minutes, but just pay attention to them. Um, my old oven was about 9-10 minutes. And then I get a new oven. Now it's about 14 or so minutes. But you just want to cook them until they're like, you can start seeing the golden brown around the edges and on the bottom. They won't look done, but they are done. You don't want, if you cook them till they're like brown, you'll get them like a crunchier. These ones are just super soft. Um, so I was able to fit 8 cookies on my tray perfectly. My boo boo gets about 6 on a tray, so just gauge it how you want it. They don't spread too much, I find. Um, but yeah. And then once they're all done, I actually forgot to record putting them out. I don't like roll them or anything after I scoop them out. I just drop them there, and that seems to be fine. So you can do that. You can roll them, whichever you prefer. But then when they're done, they are so soft, perfectly cooked, and just look at that braid. They are so delicious, and they stay soft like that. Like, so I don't know. That's just delicious. But that's our cookies. Yum, yum, yum.